Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. It's nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well and having a good weekend. As you can hear, my throat is pretty croaky in comparison to how you saw me on Thursday for the preview, or yesterday's Friday's video, I should say, because I've been doing a lot of shouting at the London Stadium yesterday, along with quite a few other thousand people. So let's talk about the result of West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2. As always, guys, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor, 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website. But as you can see from the icon that's up here, there's also retro Aston Villa gear in there as well if you're a watching Villa fan. You can also purchase Admiral and Umbro track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts in the claret and blue as well. And any purchases you make through the link in the description below, the commission that the channel would normally be getting, as I always say, I'll be sending on to the charity Iron Supporting Food Banks. They're based in the Newham area and they're helping those in the Newham area and the Essex County and further afield for that matter, as they're currently supporting over 70, probably close to over 80 food banks by the time of this recording. So guys, go grab yourself a really nice retro shirt. You'll be saving yourself a few quid in comparison to your respective club shop, and you'll be helping those that are less fortunate than you and I. But if you're a West Ham fan, or even if you're a Villa fan and you want to make a donation to the food bank charity without making a purchase through the link in the description below, there is a Just Giving Fund link just above it, where you can make your donation directly. £1, £2, £5, whatever you can afford. Believe me guys, every single penny helps. Right, so let's crack on with it. A good starting 11, to be honest. Me and Bill, when we were up in the pub just before the game, I said to him that I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw 80% of the starting 11 that we saw last season, and was pretty much correct. Areola in goal, with a back four of Soufal, Mavropanos, Kilman and Emerson. Rodriguez and Souček in the holding stroke defensive midfield positions, with Bowen out on the right, Kudos out on the left, Paquetá in the middle, supporting Antonio up front. So a very, very obvious starting 11. As we were walking down to the, and we said it quite a few times, and as we were walking down to the stadium, I jokingly said we're going to be 2-0 down in 10 minutes, and we came very, very close to being that. I really, don't get me wrong, Aston Villa were far superior. They were first to everything, including second balls as well, for that matter. They pressed higher than we did for the majority of the game. They were just more organised, more controlled than we were. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'll come on to reasons in a minute, but for the first goal in 3 and a bit minutes. Now, from my seat, this is my channel, so I can only put from my point of view. And I know a lot of people are saying that was an easy goal to concede. And looking at the highlights after the game, yes, I can see that. But it was a very, very well taken corner. Very, very well taken corner. As you can see in the highlights of that, or the replays of it, I should say, Antonio loses his man. So Onana jumps up, completely unmarked, and heads it in the top right hand corner from Areola's point of view. And yeah, I think, and I agree with a lot of people. I do think that we panicked after a little while. We got a bit nervous. Now, as I said, Villa should at half time, guys. I'm going to jump forward a little bit. At half time, Villa should have been 4-1 up. They had such good chances. Great save by Areola on the 10-minute mark to keep it to 1-0. But as I said to my mates, we're going to be 2-0 down in 10 minutes. 9 minutes, 50 odd seconds on the clock, and old mate is running down a goal. I'm like, please, 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 please. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. But yeah, it was. It's really difficult to. I'm not getting carried away in any shape or form, because I've said a few times that it's going to take a while for all these new ideas to be implemented. Couple of new players on the pitch, perfectly fine. But at the same point, guys, it's the old Moyes tactic slipping in there. It really, really was. It was great to see Lopetegui getting very, very animated on the sidelines, as is his job. There was an advert. That's right. There was a graphic that was up on Sky Sports after the game. I saw some of the interviews afterwards last night, where it showed for the first half an hour we had 46, was it 43 or 46% possession. From the 31st minute to the 60th minute, we had 60 odds, so it was like 63, I think, possession. And then for the remaining half an hour of that, we went back to having 43% possession. That's what we want. It's a lot better possession. But again, it's about what you do with the ball and what you do off the ball as well, for that matter. You know, it was very. I admire what Lopetegui did. You know, literally. You know, it's a very the penalty, stone cold all day long, Stonewall. Great penalty from Paquetá. I thought he was relatively useless for the first half. I'm not going to lie. Bar the penalty, I thought he was very ineffectual. Didn't really seem up to it. Unfortunately, Soufal and Antonio really shone out as working hard, but just not doing enough, not doing things properly, I should say, in the first half. To a lesser extent, you can argue the same thing as I say about Paquetá. Kilman was a little bit shaky. Mavropanos was making errors, so I can see why. Mavropanos is in line to be sold in the next couple of weeks. I love him to bits. Works very hard. You know, covered up some of the mistakes that he made, but you know, like for example, towards the end of the first half. You know, that stupid header that he put out because he had to cover the mistakes. If he let the ball bounce in front of him, when instead of he should have cleared it, or should have passed it back to Kilman, or maybe passed it slightly forward to Soufal, to Souček, or even Rodriguez for that matter. I thought Souček was a little bit ineffectual as well in the first half. We'll talk about his sitter in the towards the end of the video, but going in at 1-1. I thought we were very lucky. Very lucky to be going in there holding on to a point at that point. Very lucky. As I say, you know, stupid mistakes from Villa. Should have been 4-1 from their point of view. But granted, great save from Areola. But that Villa was so dominant in that. You can see that Emery's got them really well worked over the last season and in pre-season as well. I know their pre-season results haven't exactly been brilliant, but that's not the point. We're not focusing on that. We're focusing on the fact that there are glimpses in the first half of what we were trying to do. We were playing out from the back better instead of passing it back to the goalkeeper all the time. I mean, there was a few times, especially in the second half, which we'll come on to. There was a few times where we were passing it back to Areola, but the majority of the time the passes were going around the back four. Or going to and around the back four, I should say. There's a lot of good things to come. I know it's difficult because it feels it's very easy to be angry, but you can't be angry because we've lost. It's disappointing to have lost that game, of course, and especially in the second half with again the dominance that Villa had, and as usual, players willing to come and bite us in the arse, which we'll come back to in a minute. But the majority of Villa's attack is in both halves, I should say, was their left, our right hand side, because of Soufal's ineffectual defending. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words together, all just completely unscripted as these ones really are. The previews are all scripted, but these are just off the cuff. So yeah, going into the second half again, as I say, we pushed on. We made some good attempts at goal. We tried. From looking at the match stats, I mean, in total we had 3 shots and 7. So we had 14 shots and 7 on target. Sorry, 7 off target and 3 on target, which means obviously those 4 were on target but saved. Because you can't have 4 missing shots. I mean, where do they go? They were saved. I'm guessing, but it's ridiculous, or cleared out, I should say. Yes, 4 attempts cleared out. Villa 1 shot more than us, 3 on target, same as us, 6 off target. So from that point of view, very even from that point of view. But as I say, coming into the second half, apologies for jumping around, guys, but coming into the second half, 3 substitutions made at once, and 2 of the 3 I agree with 100%. Fulker coming on to make his full home debut. Sorry, his Premier League debut, I should say, for Antonio on the 73rd minute. Bowen coming off for Somerville made sense to a degree. because he was tracking back a hell of a lot in the first half. Should not be defending that deep. He really, really shouldn't be. But again, it's because of how ineffectual Soufal was at his defending. And then it took a little bit pissing around a little bit, but Paquetá came off and Ward-Prowse came on as well, for that matter. You know, and then literally 11 minutes later, Soufal came off and Tobido came on to make it up. I thought it was going to be a back three, yeah, but it was a little bit disjointed. And Rodriguez came off, and Danny Ings came on. Who, by the way, let's not forget, Danny Ings, towards the end of the game, before Soufal's howler, set up Somerville to pass it back to him, and a great header from him. But a very, very good save from Martinez. I'm not gonna focus on the time wasting that Aston Villa were doing. We know that, you know, it's Matty Cash should have been sent off. To be fair, he got booked, and he should have been booked in the second half as well, for that matter. So it's bad refereeing from that point of view. Again, I'm not going to talk about the refereeing. I'm talking about West Ham's approach to it. And then literally right at the death, a goal mouth scramble. Ball's bouncing around a little bit. Ball comes into to Souček, and he just absolutely skies it. Bounces around a couple of times and absolutely fucking skies it. But a great ball, don't get me wrong. Ramsey makes a lovely run down the left-hand flank, passes it to Duran, the substitute that we've been trying to get in, and of course he scores, doesn't he? Makes it 2-1 with 11 minutes to go. You know, we had 7 minutes of added time in the second half because of the time wasting and the substitutions. But to concede by one goal, and to lose it by one goal, I can see it's not bad. I know how everybody was feeling. I get it. You know, there are. You know, I thought Ings showed some promise. You know, he's really trying to fight it. Once we went to the 4-4-2 sort of formation, Tobido, I'm not really sure on him as yet, because he didn't have a lot of time to. You know, if anybody was watching him on the other end, perfectly fine. Let us know what you were thinking. But from him, I'm happy with how we played in chunks of it. There's still a lot, as Lopetegui said in the first couple of pre-seasons. You know, there's a lot of work to do. And I said at the video at the time, for the preview, I said I hope we've been working on set pieces. It doesn't look like we have. I still think there's a few passengers in there, and I've got a funny feeling Lopetegui is coming to that conclusion as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But guys, thank you very, very, very much for your time and for listening. By all means, please do put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking on the game. Do you agree with the starting 11? If you were in charge of West Ham, would you have done anything different? Let me know. Let me know on those. Still just over 75% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed. So there's been nice people subscribing over the last few days. Thank you very much, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. But as I say, 75% of views are coming for those that are not subscribed. So please do hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, won't cost you a penny. All it will cost you is one click for the subscribe button, and 2 ticks for the notifications to make sure you set the notifications to all. So guys, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll try and do some more content for you if there's anything that's coming up, bar obviously the Crystal Palace preview that's going to be coming up for the weekend, and I'm hoping we'll be able to do the watch along for that as well. But in the meantime, guys, have a fantastic weekend. And look after yourselves. It's going to be nice weather again today by the looks of it. So all the best now. Take care.